Welcome, I'm Rob. This week we're back to Sheffield for a club members event. It's Tin Tops. We start with a 5-minute qualifying, which, as is typical at the moment, we extend to 10 minutes due to our long lap and not so great karts. We've all agreed to using different karts for every race tonight too, so I've decided I'll qualify with whatever I get. It turns out I get one that isn't necessarily a great kart, but it's far from the worst one too. Having spent a few laps trying to find some clear space on track, I finally had enough for a few attempts at a quick lap. It turns out though, my first attempt was my fastest one, setting a 58.115 in order to qualify in 7th place out of 17 drivers. Those qualifying times set the grid for our first race, a 10-minute sprint. We're all in different karts, so karts ahead with quicker drivers may now be slow, so there could be room for some easy progress. The lights go green and I have a stonker of a reaction, but the car just didn't want to pull away at all. I noticed this would probably be the case as I was leaving the pits and it did the same thing, so I was prepared and bounced around to try and help. Through turn 1 with no contact, that's pretty rare, and it means I'm able to make up the time I lost at the start through turn 2 as well. This car is definitely lacking in low down power, but the group ahead are all still close together and not exactly flying away. I get myself alongside Isaac, but with Sam in front, I can't make anything of it. Isaac continues to leave the door open, so I keep my nose in. Isaac's wider line means he hits the outside barrier, losing his speed, and I slide on past up into 6th place. Sam seems to pull up on the exit of turn 2, gifting us his position. He ultimately ends up last in this race, so I am guessing there was an issue with his kart. We've got clear track ahead now though, so let's see if I can catch the other 4, who seem to be racing rather close together. Isaac has found some pace and is giving me a little bit of hassle, but I've got enough in the bag to keep him behind for now. I even had enough pace left over to set a 57-second lap. Just about. I kept an eye on the group ahead and kept Isaac behind too, across the line in 5th place. That's up 2 places from my starting position, a result I'm happy with for this one. We line up on the grid for the second race. This should be a 25-minute race, but we used 5 minutes to extend our qualifying session, so we've got 20 minutes in different karts once again, starting in the reverse order of our qualifying result. That's on the grid in 11th place for me then. Where will this race go? It's a slower reaction, but at least the kart moves this time. It's then typical reverse grid turn 1 contact, but no pace is gained or lost here, so that's fine. I initially sit behind Tom for turn 2, but as the gap opens on the inside, I go for that. Tom is able to get that place back though on the inside through top pit bend. Emilio comes through at turn 5 as we have a little bit of a sandwich. Followed by Finn getting alongside in turn 7 before completing the pass in turns 8 and 9. I found I was quicker up the ramp though, and I get that place back. Before kart 18 then goes a bit offline through the final section, and I get up the inside for the final ramp. So it's an okay opening lap then. Whilst I lost places, I was able to gain some too, so I'm in my starting position for now. Having caught the group ahead, disaster strikes. A concertina of contact ends with me into the back of Tom's cart. I lose all momentum and feel the brakes dragging a little too. I tap the pedal to try and release them, and I just watch as the carts come past. We've got 20 minutes though, so there is time to recover this. Or not, as bad goes to worse. I'm now plumb last. I take some time to refocus. I know what I need to do and I know how to do it. Progress at last. Two in one lap? I'm happy with that. There's a gap to the next karts, but I can feel that this kart is a quick one. And it looks like someone has pitted to swap kart. That's a free position for me there then. I said this kart was quick. That's the quickest lap time I've set in quite some time. And we'll use that pace to jump into 13th place as well. It looks like Darcy unfortunately has a poorly kart too. She waves me on by. The pressure seemed to get to them, and a series of mistakes sent them wide into the lower complex, and I get up the inside. Despite spending the first half of the lap behind another kart, that lap is also in the 57 seconds. As I'm catching the back of this train, I'm seeing that Dan has been defending hard to cause it. I'm now right on the pack and looking to start to find ways to progress. Starting with the first kart in turn 1. I take a look through Top Pit's bend but can't quite make it work. But my next attempt sticks through the lower pits area. This was weird. You can hear the tyres squeal and I get some understeer that I've not had before. It throws me a little, but thankfully it did seem to be a one-off. Karts ahead finally find their way past Dan, leaving just Sam and myself to try and do the same. Sam gestures to work together. I'm up for that, but at this late stage of the race, if I see a gap, I'm going to go for it. Sam gets to the outside and tries to hold it. It leaves a gap though, and I move into it. Sam is able to cover me off with the right, but not the left. I kiss the barrier on the inside, meaning I don't quite leave the space I tried to. I do hear a bang from behind, and the red flags come out as we come up the ramp. I look around and can't see Sam. Surely I didn't push him that wide. I move to the top of the ramp to try and have a look. I can't see him, and he isn't sent to recover his position before we return to yellow flags. I seem to get a better exit onto the final ramp and pass Dan into turn 1. 2 laps to go and I can at least see the next karts. Can I catch them though? Catch them? Yes, I can do that. Can I pass any of them? I get a run up the final ramp and move alongside Anton, just in time to spot the yellow flag. I jump on the brakes to ensure he's ahead as we cross the line. So after a poor start, I recovered well with the help of a quick kart. So quick in fact, my 57.216 was the second fastest lap of the race. After the race I did check with Sam and it was actually the karts behind that had then pushed him into the barrier, so there was no issue there. Unfortunately though, a 5th place and a 7th place finish aren't good enough to score any decent points. I was happy with the evening. I just needed some better on-track luck tonight. As always then, thank you so much for joining me on my go-karting adventures. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up and leave any feedback down below in those comments. I'm recording this and I haven't actually got a next video, so I can't tell you what it will be, where it will be from, or anything. Make sure you're subscribed though, so you don't miss out when it does release. And until then, cheers.